And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of the Conscious Rasta Report here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Kidi Owado is my name, aka the Conscious Rasta. Weekday mornings, we get together live from 9 a.m. Pacific time. That's 12 noon Eastern time, 5 p.m. GMT, and 7 p.m. East Africa time. We get together with you, and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives. We deal with entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Tuesday, the 17th of September, 2024 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Today is a special day. Today is the day I celebrate completing 69 rotations around the sun outside of my mother's womb. I do count those 9 months with her as part of the journey, magnificent journey as well. So happy birthday to me. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. And I'm doing the best I can to show everybody else out there, to the best of my abilities, that being young, being vibrant, being healthy is a good thing. It's a great thing. And we all can bring this into our lives as individuals. We can bring this into our lives as a collective group, collective work and responsibility. Well, how about collective health and responsibility? So here's what I did. Got up. I actually started last night, but I got up to share an image with you and an idea, a thought. If you don't mind, for my birthday, can I convince as many of you as possible to let me help you live longer and healthier? Proud to say, for my birthday, I'm still doing my 100, 200, or 250 push-ups a day, depending on, how the day runs, my schedule, whether I have time, make time, run out of time. Today, since it is my birthday, I videotape my push-up sessions. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. But today I plan to do 250 or more. I may do 300 just to show off for my birthday. But can I convince as many of you as possible to go to keidi.biz, KEIDI.biz, and from there, get your healthy on. Check it in, check it out, and see if you could get. So the books I'm featuring really for my birthday, your birthday, you're celebrating with me, right? Would be 100 plus lifespan, living superfood longevity, furiously vegan, or living superfood life to the max. So this is my kind of a quadrilogy, quadrilogy, I'll call it that. It's a made up word, right? Of books that I use. I use these on a daily basis to do the best I can to keep myself young and healthy and vibrant and energetic and all of them good things that we celebrate all through life. Let me tell you what we have on the table for today's discussion. I am, of course, writing the book. The book is entitled Living Superfood Solutions, Dietary Strategies to Prevent and Reverse Common Chronic Diseases. So that's what that is all about. So, and also here, let me just, if you don't mind, show off a little bit. I did take my annual It's My Birthday photo today with an emphasis on doing the best I could to look younger than 69 years of age. So you tell me, did I succeed this year at looking young and fresh and vibrant, or am I just fooling myself? Hey, I'm sorry. I'm just having fun over here. It's a beautiful day and we should be having fun. Here's what we have on the table for today's discussion. Well, again, this is another chapter in the book, Living Superfood Solutions. Today on LIB Radio, we take a close look at nutrition for skeletal health. Adequate nutrition plays a vital role in maintaining strong bones and cartilage throughout life. An optimized diet provides essential nutrients such as calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, silicon, and boron, all necessary for bone growth, development, and remodeling. Insufficiencies can lead to impaired bone and teeth health. Remember, the teeth are an extension of the bones, increasing the risk of a spectrum of musculoskeletal disorders. So that is what is on the topic for today. I hope you find this to be informative, exciting, inspiring. This is dynamic information that's intended to transform your life. Let's get into the research. First, I began by comparing different nutritional lifestyles. This inquiry today was in no small part sparked by the increasing clamor for rescuing parts of the meat, poultry, dairy industries. And so many people have been talking about bone broth for health, bone broth for health. Wait till we finish today's conversation. I think you're going to understand why I always resisted that idea of bone broth for health. I'm not saying that there's not some nutrients there. What I will be saying is you don't have to eat carcass parts to get those nutrients. You don't have to raise and kill animals to get those very same nutrients. You can actually get them in much better sources from nature, from plants and supplements. And also, another part about that whole bone thing is that they're using it to legitimize some of these other lifestyles. Let's talk about these different nutritional lifestyles. I'm going to compare I think I have 7 of them here on the table to compare. Number 1 is, I'm not even going to talk about the standard American diet. I was just going to skip over. So I should say comparing 7 alternative nutritional lifestyles. Okay, so there you go. That's a little better. Here are some popular nutritional lifestyles along with brief explanations, and I do in the book, I will be citing the relevant studies so you can confirm them. Number 1 on this list is vegetarian. Now, before I get to this, we've already gone through from the book, Living Superfood Research, the 11-stage nutritional hierarchy. From the worst to the worst to the best to the best. I'm going to go quickly through those. They are the worst: junk food. Number 2, fast food, including restaurant food. Number 3, standard American diet. Number 4, modified standard American diet. Number 5, vegetarian. Number 6, vegan. Number 7, 80-20 vegan. Number 8, raw vegan, 97% or more uncooked foods. The next one on the list is adding fasting and detoxing to that. And the next one on that list is adding living superfood. Living food, raw food, enzyme-rich food, that's in the raw food, but superfoods in addition to all of that. That's number 10 on the list of 11. That's the brand that I do, Living Superfood. And number 11 is called orthomolecular medicine. At that point, orthomolecular medicine, the food gets boring, but the food is absolutely committed to sustaining cellular health. So if I have a chronic disease, a critical disease that could threaten my life, I'm not worried so much about flavor. My primary concern is reinforcing the cell. If I reinforce the cell optimally, my body will correct nearly all diseases and disorders, especially the chronic diseases. I'm talking serious business here. That's orthomolecular. So that's the 11-stage hierarchy. We're going to go back in. I'm going to skip over the standard American diet, junk food, fast food. We're going to go right to vegetarian lifestyle. This diet excludes meat and fish, but includes dairy products and eggs, as most people say. It is primarily focused on plant-based foods like vegetables, fruits, grains, nuts, and seeds. Studies show vegetarians often have lower risks of heart disease, certain cancers, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes. However, they are cautioned to monitor nutrient intake such as vitamin B12 and iron. And I agree with those caution. You got to know what your body needs. Vegetarian is often adopted for health, ethical, or environmental reasons. Studies suggest that a vegetarian diet lowers the risk of chronic diseases, metabolic disorders. Point number 2 on this list is vegan. A vegan diet eliminates all animal products, including dairy, eggs, and for some vegans, honey. It emphasizes whole grains, legumes, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. It is associated with lower cholesterol levels. We're talking about lowering the LDL especially, a reduced risk of cardiovascular disease, and supports weight management as well. Like vegetarians, vegans must ensure adequate intake of nutrients like vitamin B12, iron, calcium, and omega-3 fatty acids. Number 3 on the list is called paleo. Paleo purports to mimic the diet of Paleolithic ancestors, focusing on whole foods, lean meats, fish, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, while excluding processed foods, refined grains, and dairy. Speaking of its effectiveness, some studies suggest that the paleo diet can improve weight management, metabolic health, and reduce inflammation. Critics argue it may lack essential nutrients found in grains and dairy, and that excessive meat consumption increases risk of certain cancers. And that's been one of my chief complaints about these versions of paleo, which is the next one, number 4, ketogenic version of the same thing. This diet emphasizes high fat intake while significantly reducing carbohydrates. It aims to induce ketosis, where the body burns fat for fuel instead of carbs. It is often used for weight loss and managing epilepsy. However, long-term efficacy and sustainability are still questionable. Number 5, the Mediterranean diet. This popular diet emphasizes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, healthy fats such as olive oil, and moderate consumption of fish and poultry, and restricted consumption of red meats, sweets, and pastry. A large body of research evidence supports the Mediterranean diet's benefits for heart health, longevity, and reducing the risk of chronic diseases. Going forward, the next, number 6 on this list, macrobiotic. The macrobiotic diet is a holistic eating approach that emphasizes the consumption of whole, natural foods with a focus on balance and harmony in both diet and lifestyle. It primarily includes whole grains, vegetables, legumes, and fermented foods, while encouraging seasonal and locally sourced ingredients. The philosophy behind the diet incorporates the principles of yin and yang, promoting a balance of these energies through food choices. While it is largely plant-based, some variations may include small amounts of fish or other animal products. The macrobiotic diet also emphasizes mindful eating practices, aiming to foster a deeper connection with food and overall well-being. And number 7 on my list of 7 different nutritional styles, Ayurvedic. The Ayurvedic diet is based on the ancient Indian system of Ayurveda, which emphasizes the balance of the body, mind, and spirit to promote health and well-being. The dietary approach is personalized, taking into account an individual's unique constitution or dosha, which is determined by physical, emotional, and environmental factors. The diet encourages the consumption of whole, natural foods, including fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, while also incorporating spices and herbs known for their medicinal properties. Additionally, it emphasizes mindful eating practices, proper food combinations, and seasonal adjustments to meals to enhance digestion and overall health. The Ayurvedic diet aims not only to nourish the body, but also to support mental clarity and emotional balance. So those are 7 different alternative lifestyles. Again, I excluded the standard American diet, or Western diet as it's often called. I excluded that. And it's crappier cousins, junk food, fast food, restaurant food. Because you, my listening audience, we're a little more mature than that. We don't need to always start at scratch to talk about things that are relevant. I'm curious as to what do you think about what you're hearing here so far today. Do you have any comments and you want to share with us? Let me just double check, make sure all my family is in the house and tuned in. And hopefully we will stimulate a beautiful conversation with you, our listening audience, here today on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Let us continue. Again, as I mentioned, the conversation today was motivated by all of this noise, I call it noise, on the health benefits of bone broth. So let's ask that question about bone broth. What are the benefits of bone broth? This article appears in Medical News Today, written by John Johnson, March 13, 2023. He wrote, and I quote, "Bone broth contains bones, connective tissues, and minerals. It may support the joints and digestive system and help with weight management, among other benefits. The bones and tissues of many types of animals may make good bone broth, including cow, chicken, and even fish bones. Bone broth can provide important nutrients, especially minerals, derived from these tissues. This may make bone broth a beneficial dietary supplement for some people. Bone broth is an animal-based food. Simmering the bones in water with some vinegar helps release nutrients from the marrow within the bones, as well as break down other tissues into the water. The result is a flavorful, nutritious broth." I'll keep reading it. I'll keep reading it. But you know, they're almost, when I looked at the details of bone broth and what's in it and what it turns into when it cools down, I said that it's almost like chicken soup. It's the chicken fat. And so now when they talk about it's the marrow, breaking down the nutrients from the marrow within the bones, I have a clarity about it, but there's more. You need to know this. Points on this. 1, bone broth soup is rich in nutrients, including calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. Also, brewing connective tissue with bone broth provides the body with natural components from the cartilage. Tissue and bones also contain collagen. Cooking collagen turns it into a gelatin, which provides the body with amino acids, which are the building blocks of proteins. And gelatins, especially bone-derived gelatins, are one of the things that makes the standard American diet dangerous. And vegetarians will sometimes consume these stuff. If you look at the back of products and it contains gelatin, Most likely it's made from what's it called, carrageenan, which is a type of seaweed, or it is made from rendered bones. And these rendered bones come from slaughterhouses. So gelatin, according to my perspective, is something to avoid because it's going to contain the toxins. I think I have that in this report today, talking about the toxins from the confined animal feedlot operations get into the bones and the meat and the blood and the marrow of the animals that are sent to slaughter. Bone marrow is rich in nutrients such as iron, vitamins A and K, fatty acids, selenium, zinc, and manganese. Bone broth may also provide trace amounts of these nutrients, and many claim that consuming it is an easy way to take in these nutrients in a form that is easier to digest. Point 2. Bone broth may protect the joints. It is a source of gelatin, which may break down into collagen in the body. This is especially important in the joints. Cartilage in the joints tends to wear down or shrink through continual use. This can add more stress to the joints, which may become damaged as a result of the added pressure. Studies have claimed that gelatin supplementation increases the amount of collagen in the tissues, and this may help protect the joints from unnecessary stress. And when we talk about collagen and gelatin in tissues, point number 1, collagen is the most abundant protein in the body. So we're all manufacturing collagen. And one of the other points about bone broth and marrow, blood marrow from animals, is that it's going to be naturally associated with digestive leukocytosis, which is your body acting as if it has an immune invasion because of what we've been eating. We talked about digestive leukocytosis. I think, wasn't that either yesterday's program or something? I've got so many chapters of this, sometimes I can't remember what I did recently. But yeah, digestive leukocytosis. I covered that very recently. We got to pay attention to this stuff, people. We got to know what it means if we are to preserve our longevity and our health without acquiring chronic inflammation to the point that we get autoimmune disorders. Number 3, bone broth may help fight osteoarthritis, as compounds present in bone broth help maintain the joints, and they may also help people who already have osteoarthritis. A 2016 study in the Nutrition Journal looked at the effects of type 2 collagen in people who had osteoarthritis symptoms in their knees. The collagen came from the connective tissue of chickens. That sounds gross. The collagen came from the connective tissue of chickens. Its results show that collagen can improve knee joint symptoms such as pain, stiffness, and poor physical function in people with osteoarthritis. Number 4, it may reduce inflammation and heal the gut. People with inflammatory bowel disease or leaky gut syndrome may benefit from consuming bone broth. Some amino acids present within bone broth may also be helpful for digestion. And amino acid glutamine supplementation helps heal the intestinal barrier in human and animal models. This may help with conditions such as leaky gut, which irritates the mucosal lining in the intestines and interferes with the body's ability to digest food. A 2017 study in the journal Nutrients said that people with inflammatory bowel disease tend to have lower levels of some amino acids in their bodies. For these people, getting additional amino acids into their diets may help with some symptoms of the condition. Number 5, bone broth. It may aid sleep. The amino acids in bone broth also promote better sleep in some people. A 2015 study in the journal Neuropsychopharmacology reports that the amino acid glycine is a safe therapeutic option to improve sleep. People who take glycine before going to bed may feel that they sleep better and have less fatigue during the following day. For these people, drinking bone broth with a simple dinner may help and provide this glycine. Here, 1 second. Hydrate so we can facilitate the conversation. And I encourage you, our listening audience, participate in the conversation. Let's get busy. Let's do this together. It's my birthday. You guys help out. Number 6, bone broth may help some people lose weight. It is high in protein, which helps the body feel fuller for longer and support calorie restriction. A 2017 study in the Journal of Renal Nutrition points out that the average cup of chicken broth or chicken bone broth contains more protein than the average cup of basic chicken broth. Drinking bone broth or making a simple soup may be a beneficial way to add more protein to the diet and feel more satisfied with a meal without consuming too many calories. So those were the pros of bone broth. I shared 6 pros of bone broth. Now let's go with the cons, reasons to avoid bone broth. Here are some reasons to avoid bone broth. Point 1, heavy metal contamination. Lead and other heavy metals may leach into the broth from contaminated animal bones, posing a risk to health. And we're talking about these heavy metals. We're about to, on Sunday, the 22nd of September, we start our next group 21-day detox fast. That's on Sunday. And we are going to use chelation therapy during that. The minerals specifically that we are removing from the body include lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, which is in the animal feed, y'all. Cadmium, that's a radioactive component. We're also looking for excessive arsenic, excessive iron, hem iron from eating meat and blood. So those are 6 of 7. I'll try to think of what the 7th one is. We're talking about lead, mercury, arsenic, cadmium, iron, aluminum, and there's one more metal that we target with the chelation therapy. I'll think of it when I stop trying to think of it. Point 2, cons of bone broths. Glutamate content. Some bone broths may contain high levels of glutamate, which can cause adverse effects such as anxiety, restlessness, low energy, mental exhaustion, sleepiness, and concentration problems. Point 3, histamine sensitivity. Individuals with histamine intolerance may experience symptoms like headaches, hives, or digestive issues when consuming bone marrow broth, which can contain histamine due to fermentation or aging processes. Point 4, over-reliance on bone broth for nutrition. While bone broth is rich in nutrients, relying solely on it for nutritional needs can lead to imbalances and deficiencies in essential vitamins and minerals. And that makes sense. It's like anything else. Number 5, potential allergens. Bone broth may contain certain allergens like animal proteins or other ingredients used in its manufacture, which can cause allergic reactions in susceptible individuals. Number 6, unbalanced diet. Consuming bone broth excessively or as a replacement for a balanced diet can lead to nutrient imbalances and potentially harm overall health. In fact, that was an extension of the same one that I said a little bit earlier. So let me just combine those two, so no need to repeat. That was number And here we go. This is number 6. Had to combine them. Lack of scientific evidence. Despite its popularity, there is limited scientific research supporting the health benefits of bone broth. And some experts consider it a trend with no conclusive evidence backing its claims. Point number 7 of the cons of consuming bone broth. Point number 7, high sodium content. Some commercial bone broths contain high amounts of sodium, which can be problematic for individuals with sodium restricted diets or those prone to hypertension. And number 8 on this list is digestive leukocytosis. Consuming animal proteins as human nutrition presents foreign proteins, parasites, bacteria, and other unwanted molecules into the circulatory system. These foreign proteins generate an immune reaction that diverts energy into combating oxidative stresses. We have discussed this extensively in a previous chapter of Living Superfood Solutions. Yeah, digestive leukocytosis. It is essential to note that these concerns, pro or con, may not apply to all bone broths, and some may be prepared and consumed safely. So there, it's your decision. Here is, I did the search as well from another site, looking for just the cons. Here are several reasons. Some individuals might choose to avoid bone broth. Number 1, and this is very important, high in purines. Bone broth can be high in purines, which are shown to increase uric acid levels, which can lead to gout attacks in susceptible individuals. And we don't necessarily want to go through life suffering from gout, beyond a shadow of a doubt. We can do better than that. Here, bear with me here as I just verify the signal. I've just recently started broadcasting on my second YouTube channel. I'm not necessarily going to be promoting that because for various reasons, but if anybody wants to comment, if you're watching the YouTube channel and you want to comment or hit the like button, that is greatly appreciated. So number 1 reason to avoid high in purines. Number 2, allergies and sensitivities. Some people may have allergies or sensitivities to certain ingredients commonly used in bone broth, such as animal proteins or additives. Number 3, heavy metals. We covered that one, but I didn't cover it this way. Depending on the source of the bones, there's a potential risk of heavy metal toxicity, especially if the bones come from animals raised in polluted environments like modern-day confined animal feedlot operations, CAFOs, with high levels of pollutants. This can lead to the accumulation of harmful metals like lead, excessive heme iron, arsenic, and cadmium in the broth. Number 4, digestive issues. For some, the high levels of histamines in bone broth leads to digestive discomfort, exacerbating conditions like histamine intolerance. This is associated with a range of cardiovascular disorders. Highest histamine foods include alcoholic beverages, canned and semi-preserved fish, cured and processed meat, dry fermented sausages, cheese, and bone broth. And number 5, nutrient imbalance. Relying heavily on a diet dominated by bone broth will lead to an imbalanced nutrient intake. We covered that earlier. So here is another alternative. Should we choose? I am including, and I'll put up the link here so you can have access to a gut healing vegetable broth. And I'll push up this link. Am I in here? Top chat. Here we go. Here is a link to a gut healing vegetable broth. I pushed that up on that website. Let me push it up here for my Rumble family who's not talking to me at all today, but I know you're in the house because everybody says it's Kitty's birthday, y'all. We all got to be in the house. We got to help a brother, help a brother. That's what I'm talking about. So here is a gut healing recipe for a vegetable broth. And here's the thing. When I looked at all the ingredients of this one, and when I considered a vegetable stock that I made just a week or so ago, I had been accumulating vegetables from cutting board, chopping, and I started when I was making asparagus. And that, asparagus are awesome, awesome, awesome. But they have the like stemmy, woody ends. And so rather than just throw them away, because I know there's dense nutrients in there, or try and pick around the stemmy part, I just put everything in a bucket until it filled up with vegetables. Things like celery leaf trimmings and different stuff that just as I'm using the cutting board, I take the extra vegetables and like maybe some onion pieces or whatever and put them all. And I made a big pot of vegetable stock. And I filled it up with a lot of water and let it just boil not boil, but let it steep very slowly for 4, 5, 6 hours. And even then, I did it a second day or whatever. And then you know what happened? The fats in the vegetables separated and it formed this beautiful gel-like substance, which is strictly vegetarian, strictly vegan gelatin. And it doesn't have those contaminants like the gelatin that we're used to getting from animal rendering plants. So, hey, we can do better than that. That's what I'm saying. Nature gave us all the tools to maintain our optimal health. Nature gave us all the tools without having to kill, slaughter species, and buck nature. Not only slaughter it, but it's also bucking nature when we do these things that too many of us do. So, here is a recipe for vegetable stock. Let me just walk you through it one time real quick. 12 cups, 2 3/4 liters of filtered water. That's a lot. 12 cups. 1 tablespoon of coconut oil or extra virgin olive oil. You could also use avocado oil, sesame seed oil, different kind of oils. 1 red onion quartered with the skins. You're putting the whole onion in there with the skins. You wash it off, of course. 1 garlic bulb smashed. 1 garlic bulb, like 2 to 3 garlic bulbs if you ask me. Garlic is our friend. 1 chili pepper, roughly chopped with the seeds. Avoid if you have a very sensitive stomach. 1 thumb-sized piece of ginger, roughly chopped with the skin. And for me, thumb size is like 2 finger size. That's like 2.5 thumbs. Yeah. So you can't ever get too much fresh ginger in your body. And yes, with the skin on it. 1 cup of greens, such as kale or spinach. 3/4 of a cup. And also when I was making my vegetable stock, I would be making a kale dish. I grab the stalk of the kale and then just rip the leaves all off with it, and then leaving a pretty substantial piece of the stem left over. Chop them stems up, put those in the vegetable broth bucket. That's what I'm talking about. 3/4 of a cup, no, 3 to 4 cups of mixed chopped vegetables and peelings. I used carrot peelings, so did I. Red cabbage, fresh mushrooms, leeks, and celery. 1/2 cup of dried shiitake mushrooms. I need to get me some more dried shiitake mushrooms. I love dried shiitake mushrooms. I get them at the Korean grocery store. 30 grams of dried wakame seaweed. 1 tablespoon of peppercorns. And 1 to 2 tablespoons of ground turmeric. Use less for a milder taste. 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos, and these could be organic soy amino acids or soy sauce. And 1 bunch of fresh coriander or other herb of your choice. Optionally, you could add a quarter of a cup of nutritional yeast flakes for extra flavor and vitamins. And there is your vegetable broth, your vegan bone broth. Gut healing vegetable broth is what the author calls it. That's a pretty good combination, if you ask me. I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy, cut, and paste that one here on my Facebook page, which will allow me to have a lengthy pasting. And that way, those of us who do pay attention can get access to optimized nutrition. So I didn't want to do it that way. Let me do it this way. Here, bear with me. And you guys let me know if you're on my Facebook page. You gotta let me know what you think about my birthday picture. I like it. I think it turned out good. I wanted a picture to allow me to look as young as possible. 69 rotations around the sun. I'm really quite proud of that. You know how some people say, well, what's your age? Oh, I don't know. Why are you asking my age? No, I'm proud. You ask me my age, I'm proud to say, yes, I'm 69 years young and getting younger to the best of my abilities. And now we're 1 week away from September 22, the first day of autumn. That begins 28 days for me, 21 days for our group, of a group detoxification. Are going to go through the 11 stages of the detox: initiation, colon cleansing, liver, gallbladder flush, chelation therapy, targeted organs cleansing juices, cellular rebuild. In fact, I'm adding another component, much stronger during the cellular rebuild component of the detox fast. I'm pushing stem cell optimization in the cellular rebuild. That's a very important part of it. So I'm pushing all of those. Then there is, of course, the reconstruction after extracting so much that we start reconstructing our cells and our muscles. And also I exercise all throughout. We have a facial cleanse component that's recently been added to it as well. And then, of course, between fasting, maintain the nutrition as optimally as you can, living superfood between detox fasts until the next 90 days, or until this 90-day season is over and the next 90 days begin, and you get younger. You get younger, you get younger. It's a miracle. I'm proud to have put it together. I hope I can convince many, many, many more to participate. Today we're talking about nutrition for bone and teeth health. I searched around using a few AI search engines because I want to be as thorough as possible on this topic. It's a very important topic. So nutrition for bone and teeth health, key findings. I think this first one is from Ecosia. I probably mixed a couple of them together. And nutrition influences the release of hormones, such as parathyroid hormone, PTH, and gut hormones, such as gastric inhibitory peptide, GIP, glucagon-like peptide, GLP-1, and GLP-2, which modulate bone remodeling. And of course, they're talking right now a lot about the GLP-1 drugs that were being diagnosed for diabetes that people are now using as weight loss supplements, abusing, I say, they're abusing as weight loss supplements because people are always looking for, doc, give me a pill to cure my ills. Nature don't like that. And you pay a price when, Ozempic, these are GLP-1 inhibitors. We need to understand what those are, why they work, and we need to also read and study them sufficiently to realize why doctors are saying don't take these for more than 1 year. So I'm going to be living for how many more years? Don't take them for more than 1 year. What am I going to do after that? Well, if you do take them after that year, don't worry. You'll come back to see me because you'll be dragging in some new symptoms of a new disorder. People don't go that pathway. You know. It just doesn't work. Nutrition for bone and teeth health. Point 2, physical activity. Not nutrition, but lifestyle. adequate in volume and intensity. Also impacts bone homeostasis by influencing hormone release from peripheral organs. Physical activity. Point 3, the average North American diet, standard American diet, Western diet, is often deficient in essential nutrients for bone health, such as vitamin D, the sunshine vitamin, calcium, magnesium, silicon, vitamin K, and boron, making supplementation recommended, highly recommended. If nothing else, I have 52, I think I've increased more than 52 in my entire anti-aging arsenal. I just got a shipment from Vitacost just yesterday, and so got some of my favorites back in the mix. But use nutritional supplementation to fill in the gaps. Even if you're eating organic vegan, much of the foods that you're getting is depleted of nutrients. So we're going to have to realize we got to fill in those gaps, and supplementation, wise supplementation, is a good way of doing so. People say, well, those supplements are expensive. Sickness is far more expensive than not using supplementation, people. Trust me. Point 4, functional foods, such as soy products, and I say organic soy. Let me put that, emphasizing organic soy products and fortified foods, can provide additional bone supporting nutrients, particularly calcium and vitamin D. You know that vitamin D is said not to really be a vitamin but a hormone, because it's manufactured in the body by just exposure to sunlight, solar UV radiation, which activates the melanocytes, and vitamin D produced as a consequence of that. Also, some of these so-called vitamins, I don't know about vitamin D specifically, but some of them are also produced by the hindgut, our microbiome in the lower part of our intestinal tract. So it's good to understand this stuff and assist nature to do what nature was designed to do. Meeting calcium needs through food sources is essential, as dairy-free diets can be challenging to replicate in terms of calcium intake. Well, let's be clear about this. Dairy is your source of calcium. Dairy is also a source of excessive acidity in the blood. Alkaline associated with health, were designed to be slightly more alkaline than water. Water is 7.0 pH balance. Our bodies are designed to exist in the realm of 7.25 to 7.45 alkaline range is optimal health. Above that, we're too alkaline, we got problems. But around 7.25, babies are born at a blood acidity of pH of 7.35. So that's where we want to maintain to the very best of our abilities. So consuming dairy, meat products, chicken, poultry, fish, red meat, purple meat, brown meat, gray meat, all of those are pro-acidic. The more acidic the blood, the more you are in the grip of chronic disease. Got to understand this, people. This is very important information. So meeting calcium intake. But where do the cows get the calcium? Well, much of that dairy is fortified. But the thing is there are all kind of plant foods out here. We've talked about nutrition. So last point I want to make on here. Oh, life course approach. This again from the AI search on the critical need nutrition for bone and teeth health. Life course approach. Nutrition's impact on skeletal health is not limited to a specific age group. A lifelong course approach emphasizes the importance of adequate nutrition throughout life, from childhood to old age. How about from pre-birth to supercentenarian, meaning 110 and above, from pre-birth. And let me tell you, people, if you're really interested in young couples who are going into childbearing phase of your life, listen up. We are now looking at a point in human evolution where people will commonly live to supercentenarian and above, meaning 110 and above. Will be fairly common. Kitty says the best way to assure that we give this gift of longevity to our children is to clean up our chromosomes before conception. Stop conceiving babies after an alcoholic binge of a night out with the girls or with the guys or with the in-betweens. Of course, the in-betweens aren't having babies. You know what I'm talking about. We got to clean up the environment by which we present chromosomes. Man presents 23 pairs. Woman presents 23 pairs. If those chromosomes are damaged by alcohol, and we know beyond a shadow of no question that in both men and women, alcohol damages the DNA and the chromosomes. So we want to give birth to perfectly shaped human beings and give them a chance. And then we feed them the optimal nutrition for every stage of their life. So that's what they're saying here. Nutrition impacts on skeletal health is not limited to a specific age group. A lifelong course emphasizes the importance of adequate nutrition throughout life from pre-birth to supercentenarian. This approach recognizes that early nutrition and lifestyle choices will influence bone health much later in life. And that's just the truth. Recommendations. Point 1. Ensure adequate intake of essential nutrients such as calcium, phosphorus, magnesium, silicon, and boron through a balanced diet and supplementation when necessary. And for men and women, a high quality daily multivitamin is highly recommended. Highly, highly recommended, especially if you've got anything out of order. If you have anything out of order, start with a high quality daily multivitamin. If you're out of order, sometimes I say to people, do you have a daily multivitamin in your house? Yeah. Have you been taking it? No. I say, well, I'm going to ask you to take it twice a day. Double up the recommendation twice a day for 2 weeks and then cut back to once a day. Because you have to fill in the gap, or you have not been boosting all of the critical nutrients. I have some very high quality men's daily multivitamin, which I don't want to grab my vitamin bin right now. It's over there, and I just add 6 more to it yesterday. Point 2, engage in regular physical activity tailored to age and fitness level to promote bone health. Even just sitting down at your desk. I've been sitting down now. We're about, 40 minutes or so into the show, 55 minutes into the show. I've just been sitting since 5 minutes before the show. So just standing up, putting your feet on the floor and doing toe heel raises itself does a good job of increasing the circulation going down to the extremities of your legs. If you have edema, you can use that. Just those raise your toes, raise your heels, raise your toes, raise your heels. Do that 30 times and work it up. I'm up to 100 now on those. And let me tell you, doing 100 of those, I lay down on my back and stretch the toes and then bend them up. It gets painful. Those last 25 are painful. But I know what benefit I'm getting. And within 5 days of starting that exercise, my swollen feet unswelled. We talked about that earlier. Consider functional foods and fortified products to support bone health, particularly in individuals with dietary restrictions or limitations. functional foods. We're talking about functional foods complement functional medicine, foods that prevent pathogenesis. Consult, and last recommendation, consult with healthcare professionals to develop personalized nutrition and exercise plans, especially for those at high risk of fracture or osteoporosis. Yes, if you have to consult, your doctor may or may not know what to really recommend, but you can always find a fitness instructor, a nutrition-based health consultant, registered dietitian or clinician. Be careful, though, knowing what you expect going into those relationships, because some of them are just not that good. I know this is a fact. Some of them just are not that good. Conclusion. Nutrition is a critical component of skeletal health, and a well-balanced diet combined with regular physical activity is essential for maintaining healthy bones and teeth throughout life. By acknowledging the importance of nutrition and adopting a lifelong course approach, individuals can reduce the risk of osteoporosis and fractures, promoting overall musculoskeletal health and well-being, and also can reduce the risk of arthritis, hip and knee joint problems, and others, promoting overall musculoskeletal health and well-being. So that musculoskeletal system of our bodies, one of our body's 18 functioning systems. We covered that today. And I think we covered it with style and with class. I have a number of different references that went into today's conversation, such as the British Journal of Nutrition, the Journal of Journal of Evolution and Health, the American Journal of Medicine, Proceedings of the Nutrition Society, and the last journal, Diabetologia. Their article, A Paleo Diet Improves Glucose Tolerance More Than a Mediterranean Diet in Individuals with Ischemic Heart Disease. You don't need to know all that. But just to say that we do use peer-reviewed source material, which sometimes the others have a problem with that. I got banished. My main YouTube page that I'd maintained for 15 or more years was banished for using peer-reviewed science articles on that topic, and for which groups were being censored. Wasn't it Mark Zuckerberg recently came out and confessed that the Biden administration convinced them to exclude and censor people like me? I was censored by Facebook no small number of times. And Google, worse. Google, you talk about Facebook is bad dealing with our security and privacy. Google's worse. So we can do the best we can with what has been offered to us. Let's move forward. Let's stop giving up so much money on these hip replacement surgeries with, what do they call it, knee replacement surgeries, joint problems in our feet, our elbows, our hands, our knuckles all swollen up with arthritis and bone osteoarthritis, and ooh, that looks ugly on people's hands. But it's got to be a lifelong commitment. You don't wait to start on this till the problem has gotten out of control and been out of control for several years. Come on, people. We know that doesn't work. I do see one comment, finally. Somebody in the family loved me enough for Africa One, sending upful vibes for love, health, and prosperity. to celebrate your blessed Earth Day. I'm with you on the garlic, not what Dr. Sebi would recommend. What are your thoughts? Yeah, Dr. Sebi wasn't a fan of garlic because he said garlic had been hybridized. But if we look at the spectrum of foods that we consume and we eliminate everything that's been hybridized, we're going to be eating some gnarly little bananas full of seeds. We're going to be eating small, very tart apples. A lot of fruits and vegetables have been hybridized. The key about it is after hybridization, what essentials are there? Can it reproduce itself? And if it can reproduce itself, then the nature of that plant has remained intact. Hybridized watermelon seeds or seedless watermelons, they can't reproduce themselves, not without grafting and cloning and all these other things. So we understand that that's not good. We don't want to have to graft and clone our bodies. But Dr. Sebi was harsh on some of these hybridized. I mean, everything's been hybridized. If you've ever seen wild onions compared to a red onion or a yellow onion or a white onion we might use in our kitchen, wild onions, they're very tiny. They got a wonderful flavor to them. They really do. I've had wild onions before. But they're just not real practical to use to replace what we're used to. And then when you look at the benefits of what's in onions, sulforaphane, fiber, it's got some vitamins, and with the stems, it's going to have chlorophyll, magnesium. So therefore, understanding the brilliance and the wisdom of Dr. Sebi and incorporating that brilliance and wisdom, I do, and I'm proud to stand upon the shoulders of Dr. Sebi. Yet there were points when we disagreed. I do not think that carrots are an abuse of nature. I think that carrots are ultimately a complement of nature. And we do know there are heirloom carrots, heirloom tomatoes, and other products out here that we should be using them. So garlic, I like garlic for the allicin, I think is what it's called, the allicin, the key component in garlic, which is like incredibly powerful. I like garlic for the flavor it adds to and the aroma it adds to cooking. When people are coming over for dinner, if I'm going to do a stir fry, the first thing I'm going to do is saute some garlic and onions in some coconut oil or extra light virgin olive oil or some other oil. And when people hit the door, they smell that smell, they say, "Oh, I am in heaven today." Garlic has its place. I use garlic for gum infections. If I ever feel like a gum infection coming on, a pain, at burning, it's coming on, I will take a piece of garlic, take the peel off of it and slice it very thin. And then I'll put a slice of that garlic right on where the pain is and just clamp down on it and hold it there. Don't swallow. Allow the juices to build up in your mouth and just hold it there for 20 minutes. And you'll feel it burning, burning, burning. Then I take the garlic out. I spit it out. I spit out the saliva. And then I take some rock crystal sea salt and pack it in that same area. And leave it on for 20 minutes. Don't swallow the sea salt. Spit it out. I do the whole thing a second time. Garlic and sea salt. 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. And guess what? The gum infection is gone. Gone. Did not have to take any antibiotics. The garlic and the sea salt acted like antibiotics in my mouth and didn't poison me. Didn't wreck my gut microbiome. So, yes. Rick, I see you in the house. Happy birthday. I'm late, but we'll watch it from the beginning. Today was a good show, Brother Rick Mo. I love you being in the house for Africa One. My sister Shingai, you are an extension of we. I'm still going to have to get over there to revisit my United Kemet family, UK family, and yourself included. Next time I come, don't you dare hide. Don't you dare stay out there in the remote areas. She's not in London. But don't you dare hide. You got to hang out with your brother. Okay? Agreed. It's been a good day. It's going to be a great day. I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't mind me intruding into your life. I'm asking people, if you would, for this birthday, can I ask you to buy a book? I want the books to do a better job of changing and transforming people's lives. So that's one of the reasons why I'm asking people to buy a book. But also buy a book for your own benefit, so you can be living longer and loving stronger. Yes, it's my birthday, but I want to help you to live longer and healthier. So 4 books, I'm going to see how many people take me up on this offer today. 100 plus lifespan, living superfood longevity, furiously vegan, and living superfood life to the max. Let's live long, let's love strong, and let's be positive. I want to thank you all. I see Denise is in the house, my beloved sister. Greetings and happy birthday. Enjoying the topic for today. Yeah, wasn't today a good topic? I thought it was an excellent topic. And that's bone health. And again, I started the conversation today talking about why I'm not a fan of bone broth. And that stimulated the bulk of today's conversation. If you're in the house today, make sure you hit the like button. Wherever you're listening, hit that like button. Let the algorithm know you are a part of this family. And we are growing together, building for eternity and building for generations, unless and until we can do a better job of guiding our children and our children's children into intergenerational success. Then we just know we're going to have to keep stepping up our game. Also, remind you, on Sunday, the 22nd, we begin our autumn equinox detox fast. I'm going to send you to lsfdetox.com, livingsuperfooddetox.com, to learn more information about what we are doing. And we encourage you to the best of our abilities to let's learn together, let's study together, let's grow together. So here, bear with me. And push up that link there, or for our YouTube family. And push up the link for our Rumble family. Summer detox. It's that time, y'all. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.